Gun Galleria here. This evening we have something a little different. This is a 32 caliber Spanish-made Llama, or sometimes people call it Llama, just simply because the name on it is LLAMA. But it is marked 7.65 and in parentheses 32. So this is a 32 ACP pistol. It is empty. Nothing in the chamber. Magazine is empty. So this is a 1911 style pistol. This was made in the 1940s, roughly around 1943, 1944, based upon the serial number. The nickel job that was done to it was either done after or at factory. There's some indications that it could have been after. I sometimes look at roll marks to see if there's a particular wear to them that would indicate that it was originally blue, and then redone, sanded, ground down, and then nickeled. But it was a wartime piece. It wouldn't necessarily have been the highest of quality anyway. Now there is the mark for GC on the side here, which I believe from some sources say that has something to do with the Spanish police. So when I say this is a 1911 style, well, looking at it, yes. It just looks like a miniaturized 1911. There are certain functions that are similar. Button mag release. Slide release is in the same spot. You also have this safety back here, but there is no safety on the grip. Now, this is a Model 1. Later models did have that, even the 32s. Taking it apart, yes, press through there, take out your slide release, and yes, you do have a, press down here, rotate, everything else, but this is not a tilting barrel. Unlike a 1911, that barrel stays pretty straight, and that's because of the way it's made. So, 1911 style. The hammer, if you bring it back to the first click, you can engage the safety without the hammer all the way back. You can engage the safety with the hammer all the way back as well. Carry it cocked and locked. I don't know if I would actually suggest doing that. It is single action, and it has the lanyard ring like you find on a lot of military pieces. Now, the magazine is incorrect for this. This may be made in Spain, but even though it works perfectly fine, it is not correct. And the reason I say it's not correct is, well, you can see how it sits. The correct magazine, which I am still looking to buy, sits flush. So you have this forward notch here, which is where the base of the correct magazine would sit as it sits flush, and would protrude slightly. It gives you a place to grab if you need to. This sits outside that. I have two magazines like this. They're both functional. They both work fine, but having something that's more correct just seems better. Now, when this would have been made, this was a small, easily concealed pistol. 32 caliber is not necessarily something that anybody these days would go, hey, that's a great self-defense weapon. It is better than a 22 or a 25, but it's still a 32. So you get a decent capacity, so to speak, 6-7 rounds, but modern equivalents are Kimber Micro 9s, various Colt Mustangs. There's a lot of different pistols out there that are much smaller, lighter, and more powerful. Even the 380 is technically more powerful. But in the 1940s, 32 was a perfectly acceptable round. Even at the time, your mouse guns were 25s, and they were perfectly acceptable as well. So this would have been seen as just a nice, basic, small, concealable pistol that you could carry if need be. overall, I mean, the sights aren't terrible. You know, there's obviously no adjustment to that front, and the rear can be drifted a bit, but this was not something that was going to be expected to be any form of distance shooting. That's more up close. Just like most small compact pistols aren't designed for, you know, defending yourself at 100 yards. You know, don't expect any kind of performance like that out of this. But interesting gun, 1940s. Just, I saw it and I thought, hey, this is a real neat piece. Don't usually see them in a chrome or a nickel finish. Why not? But I like to go with a slightly more unusual pieces. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Catch me on the next video.